Hello viewers. So basically in this session we are going to discuss about this ArgoCD, what is the concept of ArgoCD, and after that we'll quickly deploy this ArgoCD on the Kubernetes, and once the ArgoCD is deployed on the Kubernetes, then we can go ahead to deploy one simple application to the Kubernetes through ArgoCD. Okay, so this is the agenda for today's. So for that, this is the basics of ArgoCD. If you are not known about this ArgoCD, what is ArgoCD? ArgoCD is basically the Kubernetes continuous deployment tool. So the main focus is to the ArgoCD will pull your image, pull your code from the Git repo, and it will deploy that code to the Kubernetes. So instead of manually we are deploying the manifest file to the Kubernetes, we are deploying the manifest through the ArgoCD. Okay. So basically it will follow the GitOps principle, and in GitOps principle the thing is like your source code is placed in the Git, and Git is treated as the single source of truth. Okay, and basically Git keep track of all the changes you made in the code, so that it is easy to track what changes we have done and how this basically happens. Internally one ArgoCD agent is running there, so it is responsible to pulling the updated code from the Git and deploy direct to the Kubernetes as resource. Okay, so like namespace, deployment, service, anything you can deploy through this. Okay, so this Git also, I mean the ArgoCD also manage your infrastructure, also your application. Okay, this is the basics of ArgoCD. Then in this video basically we'll cover the UI part, even though it is about both UI and CLI. In this video we'll focus on UI part, and the next video will cover the CLI part. So in this video we can directly jump to our demo. So in our demo I have local Kubernetes cluster setup basically running in VirtualBox. So this is the Kubernetes setup, like 2 node cluster, 1 master node and 1 worker node. Okay, let me log into my system. Yes, so what happens? One second, let me, yeah, so this is my system. You can see get node, you can check my node IP which is required later. Okay, you can see the node IP series is like 172.18 and my API server is running on this IP. Okay, and this is the port. Okay, so let me go ahead to install this ArgoCD. For the ArgoCD installation you can go through this page, getting started. Here it is very simple step. Okay, so you can create the ArgoCD namespace, and after that directly apply this manifest. Okay, since I already covered this part because it will take some time, so you can see I already covered this one. Create the namespace and apply this manifest file, so that it will create a lot of ports. Okay, services, replica set, all this thing is created. You can see if you check get all -n ArgoCD, you can see pods, service and deployment, replica set and stateful set all are that time ongoing. Okay, so now we can check whether these are created or not. Get service, also get pod. Now we can see all the ArgoCD pods are in running state, and ArgoCD service are up and also exported. I mean this port. Okay, so basically we will focus on this part, like how to access the ArgoCD server through UI. Okay, so first thing you can notice that it is exposed in cluster IP, so that we cannot access it outside. So first thing, you can two way you can access outside, either through nodeport or any external load balancer. Since I don't have load balancer, so I can use nodeport. Okay, so for that you need to patch the service. So this is the patch command. Any port is fine, like 30,000 or 31,000, like that. Once you verified your service, like get service ArgoCD, that is ArgoCD server, that one we need to patch. Either you can follow this two command, otherwise direct patch using this one. Okay, so basically it will change the service type to node port and expose the node port like 32,000 or something. Okay, then we can access that node port using that number. Let me clear the screen. Now you can see the service type is changed. If you filter that one, get service. Okay, get service, your this service. Okay, now earlier it was exposed at 80. Now you can see this port number are added. Okay, that is the node port. Okay, 32,000 something. Okay, so now we can access using our cluster node name. Okay, node IP, get node -o void. Okay, this is our node. Since the API server is deployed on the some another node, IP, you can take this one. Since it is running in our virtual box environment, we can pick this one, API server, and your node port. Let me access this one. http:// my server is running at .40 IP address. So now it asks for the, since it is self-signed certificate, so it asks for the, yeah, so now you can see the ArgoCD login, UI is coming. Okay, so the first thing is that admin, you can put the admin as username and you can get your password. I think yeah, this is the step how to get the ArgoCD password. Initial password you can get from here. Get secret, initial admin secret, and this is the data dust password. Okay, so you need to execute this command also to get the password. The password is from here, this one. Okay, so you can put that password. Later we can change this password as put. Yeah, so now it's login to the ArgoCD. We can change the password right now. Okay, from the user info, update password, you can paste the current password, that is the initial password. Now you can change any password, like in my case I am taking like admin123 password and repeat the same admin123, then save the password. Okay, password saved successfully. We can log out from here and try to log in again, same username and password, that is admin123. okay, this is the local password. So after that we can go ahead to install, onboard one application through the GitOps model. Okay, so for that let me create one application. Before that I can add one repo. In the setting, one tab is there, repo. You can add or connect one repo. You can choose SSH, HTTPS. Okay, then name as like guestbook repo, project as default. This is the ArgoCD project. Okay, default And the repo URL you can pick. I already have one repo. The code is there. Like basically there's a simple repo, like one development file is there, one service file is there. Okay, so this is hosted on the ArgoCD slash guest book directory. Okay, so this is very simple deployment, and one service is also there. Okay, so you can go ahead to copy this repo. Okay, basically this is the path you can copy and you can paste here. This is public repo, so that's why the username password is not required. You can go ahead and connect. Now the connection is showing successfully. After that, go to application. We can onboard one application because the application is right now hosted at the Git. Okay, so we need to deploy this application, that guest book application on the Kubernetes cluster. So before that, we can check is there any pod running for your application. So we are going to get namespace. Okay, so we are going to get namespace, get pod -n dev. Okay, so one only Nginx application is running there, and this is existing namespace. Okay, if you want to create any new namespace, it is also fine. Okay, so let me create one new namespace through ArgoCD. Okay, so that should be like ArgoCD demo or something. Any name is fine. Okay, so let me go ahead, create one new application name, that is I can put like demo app or guest book app, and project name this is the ArgoCD project, not the Kubernetes project. This is the default. You can put sync policy. We basically keep that manual because we are going to sync it through manually. Okay, here you can see auto create namespace. Okay, so because this namespace is I'm going to put that namespace also. Repo URL, this is automatically fetched because we recently added this repo, and this is the main branch, that is the head, keep it as the default. And the path we can mention because our code is placed in this path, that is the guest book. So that's why we should put that path like guest book. So after that, we need to put our cluster details. Since the ArgoCD is hosted on the same cluster, so that's why we can put this name. Okay, this is the default Kubernetes cluster, the service. Okay, and the namespace, so I can put ArgoCD demo something. Okay, you can see that our namespace is not created. Okay, you can check only ArgoCD is there. Okay, but I want to deploy that application to some ArgoCD demo. Okay, so this namespace will be created by the ArgoCD because we put that check mark. Okay, so that's why it will create automatically. Let me, because this one auto create namespace. Okay, if you don't check that one, it will not create. It expects some of the existing namespace. Okay, so let me hit the create. Yeah, so now you can see immediately it is showing like out of sync. Okay, because this application is not deployed, we put that in manual sync policy. Okay, so that's why we need to sync that up. Okay, simple click on that sync. Okay, now it will ask for the sync. Okay, auto create is checked. Now you can see all the services are coming, like service your deployment is coming, app deployment, app service. Okay, so that need to be synced. Simply click on the sync. After few minutes it will again sync. Now you can see, you can click on the application. Now it is synced. Your guestbook application is going to deploy on your Kubernetes cluster. Okay, now the deployment is ongoing. This is the replica set, this is the deployment, and this is the pod. Okay, because as for the configuration which is placed in our Git repo, that is, you can see the deployment, only one replica is mentioned. Okay, so that's why it is going to deploy one pod. Okay, now we can check the Kubernetes pod status. Okay, so after the deployment, you can see one new namespace is getting created, and that is the ArgoCD demo. Okay, now we can check what the pod status in that namespace, that is ArgoCD demo. This is basically managed by the ArgoCD. Now the ArgoCD created one namespace and deployed this application. Okay, and also we have deployed one deployment and one service. Okay, so we expect one service also created. We can check SVC. Yeah, one service also created. Okay, now we can see one replica is running for that application. Okay, you can check, that is get for this one, get replica set. Also you can check one replica set is there, and desired is one, and current is also one. Okay, if you scale it off to 2 or 3, let's see how this is happening in ArgoCD. Okay, one of the important things is that if you change this deployment, you can see the deployment here, get deployment. If you change this deployment manually here from the Kubernetes side, okay, manually change it to 3, it will not happen. Okay, because these are controlled by ArgoCD only. Okay, this manifest will not apply to Kubernetes directly. Okay, so all the things will be managed from the ArgoCD code base, that is this Git repo. So let me commit this change. First I will edit this code. Let me scale it off to 3 replicas. Okay, so commit these changes. Three replica set or something. Now we can see in the ArgoCD, after few minutes or 30 seconds or something, some time is there. Otherwise you can refresh this one, so that immediately ArgoCD will notice some changes happen in the Git repo, so that this thing should be pushed to or sync to that is the Kubernetes. Okay, let me refresh this. You can see immediately it is showing out of sync, means the code you already changed here in the base repo, but it is not reflecting at the Kubernetes side. You can see still one replica is running. Okay, get pod, you can see only one replica still running like old one. Okay, but as you change this to 3, so now it notified you that the 3 replica is changed. Now you can see the comment section. Okay, earlier the comment was like replica set 1. Now you can see I added the comment like commit message 3 replica set. Okay, so that's why we need to manually sync that one. Okay, click on sync again. Now since we configured this manual sync, because most of the production environment we are performing this manual sync, you can put the auto sync also. It will automatically sync, it will not ask for those things. Now we can put synchronize. Okay, now in this 2 you can see there is no changes in the service, that's why it is green, but in the last one it's showing some orange color because there is some changes in here Git, but is not reflected in Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so that's why it asks to synchronize that one. Again click on the synchronize. Now we expect that 3 number of replicas should be created. Now we can see it triggered 2 more replicas. Okay, the replica set now 3 pods should be created. Okay, I think now it's completed. Now we can check from the Kubernetes side. Now we can see earlier one replica is there. Now we can check the deployment or pod. Now you can see 3 replicas of that replica set is running. That is, you can check from here replica set. RS or deployment, you can see desired is 3 and current also 3. Okay, in this way you can also scale down your application from the Git itself. If you want to scale down your application, you can change again here. Okay, you can roll back. Yeah, I can show you one thing. Here you can see history and rollback. If you want to roll back to previous version, you can click that one, and in the here right side the rollback option is there. You can roll back to previous version also. Okay, somewhere the difference is there. Let me check why it's sync status. It is synced. Somewhere difference is there. You can check the application difference. Okay, we'll check that one later. Okay, it will show you the difference, like the replica 1 is changed to 3, so those things will be what the I think here also you can check details. No, somewhere I missed that one. I think this diff, but why it's not showing? Okay, we'll cover that in the next video. Okay, so basically this is the thing for the today's video. Basically we covered the ArgoCD installation on the Kubernetes cluster and how to onboard one application to the ArgoCD through GitOps principle. Okay, in the next video we'll cover basically the ArgoCD CLI part. Basically this one is about how to manage this ArgoCD using UI. Okay, so next part we'll cover the ArgoCD using CLI. Okay, thank you guys. We'll see you in next video.